Welcome back. Welcome back to the show we called He Said, She Said. It's Coach Ron Tunick and Ellen Tunick, the first and maybe the last husband and wife team in the history of United States radio.
Shout out to Robin. We missed you, Robin.
Yeah.
Hurry back.
And that was nice of Jerry to come in and give us her perspective. We found out that Carl lost his man card, but all right, we'll move on. Let me talk about real quick, because he's a sponsor. This guy, David Bartels, I've known him a long time. I don't know of anybody that's he's paying us. He's a sponsor. He's a sponsor. David Bartels.
On your show. This is our show.
David Bartels can sell
Plug him on your
home.
show.
He can sell real estate. Here's his number, 805-379-3300.
You done?
Not yet.
Okay.
This guy, help you sell. This guy can sell your house. I'm just telling you right now, I don't know of anybody that's better at selling real estate than David Bartels. 805-379-3300. All right. What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about perseverance. Why is it so challenging, and how do we teach it to our kids and other people? I mean,
well, it goes back to what I like.
He sounds like he actually knows.
I do know.
This will be interesting.
No, this is something I actually have studied, human nature. It goes back to your reference points. It goes back to, understanding how life works. Understanding, first of all, if you never had parents that talked about not giving up, talked about persevering, talked about working hard, talked about,
But why do we pick and choose what we want to persevere? I mean, you and I have gone on how many diets in our lives?
I knew this was going to get around to weight. First of all, we're humans, Elle. You and I are just humans, and humans like to...
Wait, how do you say that?
Human.
Humans. It's a human.
Human.
Not a human.
Humans. We're humans, so we all have a comfort zone. We like to be comfortable. Most human beings don't.
But how can we be comfortable when we're not at our ideal weight? Why can't we persevere through the process of saying no, making our portions smaller? I mean, why can't we do that?
Do you want to hear my explanation, or do you want to just rant and rave here? I start to say we're human, so we go to where we're comfortable. Let's start there. Would you agree? Can I get you to say
no?
Amen.
So
no?
What's comfortable about this?
I think you're cuter than a bug in a rug. I don't like real skinny girls.
Thank God.
So back to what I'm starting to say is that if your reference points are not strong, if you don't haven't learned discipline, if you don't understand accountability, if you've not practiced some of these things, it's going to be hard.
Well, but how do you teach it? I mean, how?
You start.
Do you only model it and then hope and cross your fingers that your kids are going to pick up on it?
No.
What do you? How do you actually transfer?
You have to talk about it. You have to have a discussion about what persevering is, or what I like to call persistence. Right? Are you okay if I use that word, persistence? Is it different than
I don't know. Is it different?
I don't think so.
Persistence. Perseverance.
Yeah, I think they're about the same.
They're probably the same thing.
Yeah. So how do you learn to be persistent? So I know you're going to make faces.
Oh, here we go.
We're being filmed.
That's
yes,
okay.
I have
I'll
to.
roll my eyes all I want.
Okay, how about music? How about
Yeah, can you pick something besides sports?
I took drum lessons when I was 8, 9 years old, and I became a pretty good drummer. I was in a rock and roll band and made a little...
You are so not rock and roll.
I was.
Nah.
I was a rock and roll drummer.
I don't believe it for a minute.
I had long hair. I had
no way.
Yeah.
I've seen pictures of you, and there was no long hair. What do you consider long hair? Right above the ear?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So in junior high school, his name was Lehrman. I had a music teacher that was very, very strict. And drummers, we were the class clowns of any band. If anybody's out there listening and knows anything about music or musicians,
Ooh, very good.
Musicians. Drummers are the characters in any band. They are truly the outliers. So any discipline that would come would always go to the drummers first, you know. So he was hard on us, and we had to learn to read music. As a young man, I learned to read music.
Can you do it now? Can you read music now?
Absolutely not. I can.
Well, then, so his persistence didn't help you because.
I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but this was a few years ago.
Well, I know, but why can't you still read music? I mean,
because I stopped playing. I've never done drugs in my life, and I got out of the band because everybody in the band but me was a druggie. So I got out of the band. And
what does that have to do with reading music? Did you really ever learn to read music?
Yes, you had to read music to
and how can you forget?
Well, I still know the notes and stuff. I haven't practiced. Look, if you don't practice doing something, I don't want to tell you how many years it's been, but it's been a while.
So we don't practice losing weight. Is that what you're saying?
Very good point. We don't practice doing the right things on a daily basis. That's a very good point. So it's like today, I'm doing pretty good. I had oatmeal for breakfast, and I had a little protein bar for lunch. I'm
That's
hungry.
not smart.
Well, how do you know? Are you judging me right now?
No, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying that's not very smart.
No,
You're supposed to have a meal.
But I did.
A protein bar is not a meal.
I had a couple little snacks, too. I had some peanuts.
Okay, let's get back to perseverance.
So
Make me crazy.
Okay, so everything is learned. You have to learn to persevere. You have to learn to try. You have to learn not to give up. So let's start there. You learn not to give up. So where does that come from? I learned at an early age not to give up because reading music didn't come easy to me.
I guess what I'm trying to get
I'm trying to finish what I have
sorry.
to say. So if you're not exposed, here's what let me just finish. If you're not if you're not if you're not exposed to behavior that teaches you not to give up, then you're not going to learn not to give up. Correct? Correct.
Yeah, but But you're missing the point here.
I'm not missing the point.
I mean,
I'm not missing the point. Did you learn not to give up somewhere along? Because you don't give up. You're not a quitter.
Well, sometimes it gets really old. It's
Time out a second. We're talking about food here, but think about the temptation. What else in our life puts that kind of temptation in front of us? Let's be honest about it. These large corporations that are feeding us put so much temptation in front of our face that you have to be so disciplined.
Is it discipline?
Absolutely.
Do you really think it's discipline?
Oh, no question. No question.
Well, so why is it so? I can be so disciplined in all other areas of my life. That one, the perseverance, the discipline, whatever word you want to toss at it. Why is that one so hard?
Food is fun. It's entertainment. For some of us, it plugs some holes, I guess, somewhere, some emotional holes. It feels good. I mean, there's a lot of things that come out of eating. And I'm saying I have very live taste buds, thank God. I mean, things taste. You're a great cook or chef. How do I refer to you?
Cook.
You're a great cook.
There's no training here. Chefs are trained. Okay. Cooks just do it.
But, I mean, you can cook your butt off, girl. I love your cooking. I'd rather eat your cooking than, well, almost any cooking.
Okay. So, perseverance, again.
Discipline.
I'm not buying that.
I've seen you lose so much weight where you were disciplined for a month or 2 months or 3 months. I don't want to give any
6 months.
Or 6 months.
That's my max. This is what I'm saying. 6 months.
You don't want to give a plug to any of the companies that
No, I don't.
No, but
because I did it myself.
Okay.
But 6 months is my max. After that, I'm done.
Okay. So it's in some cases it's minute by minute, hour by hour. Now, we're not smokers per se, so both of us have gone like almost 2 weeks without smoking, right? We don't smoke. So think about smokers. If they could start with 1 day and not smoke.
Okay, so in transferring this information.
Same thing with eating or any habit. How about this? It becoming over.
I'm going to Cabo and I'm bugged.
Because you can't get in your little cute bikini?
I never had a bikini. What world do you live in? Mm. I'm going to Cabo, and you would think that would send me into perseverance or persistence mode. Why is it not?
Your want to has to be bigger than your have to, and for some reason your want to isn't bigger than your have to this time around. So that's a basic explanation. Your want to, look, if the president of the United, maybe, for you, it might work. So if President Obama called you up and said, Mrs. Tunick, we would
We're
like
on first name basis.
Ellen, would you like to come to the White House in 3 weeks? And it's a formal ball. I guarantee you would lose weight to get in that dress.
I think I'd be so nervous that I'd probably gain weight.
No, you wouldn't. You would find a way to get into that gown to go to the ball to see the president.
Okay.
So your want to has to be bigger than your have to. For some reason, you're going to Cabo. It's a resort. You're staying at a resort.
Yeah.
You don't have to impress anybody. There's no reason.
Maybe I'm too old to want to impress anybody
There
anymore.
you go. Let's start there.
Let's start with the age. Okay.
Let's start with reasons why you haven't lost the weight to go to Cabo. So this is what happens in the real world. If your want to isn't big enough, then you go back to the have tos.
Okay. All right. So that's what we're doing with perseverance. Can we talk about another subject?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's talk about ghost apps.
Ooh.
Have you ever heard of ghost apps?
No.
Oh, okay.
And I asked around today. You're listening to the show called
Well,
He Said.
that's why when I Googled it, there's not a lot of information out there.
He Said, She Said is the name of the show on KHTS AM 1220. You're listening. In my building, I have one of these engineers, one of these software engineers.
Okay.
He didn't know about it.
Really?
No, and I was kind of mean to him. I know he's not listening, but I'm going to apologize to him tomorrow because I said, look, your devious industry is creating havoc in the world of teenagers.
Let's tell everybody what a ghost app is, okay?
Yeah.
So our kids now...
Listen to this, Justin. Are you listening?
Okay, it's a ghost app. So on the phone, on your kid's phone, it looks like a calculator. It actually works like a calculator. But if you put in a secret PIN or code, what's coming up on the other side of that is an entire app where young people in high school are taking nude photographs and sending them back and forth. And
disgusting.
as a parent, it looks like a calculator. You even use it like a calculator. So,
and they do this so they can lie to their parents and get around the whole system of parents checking. Like our daughter checks the phones.
well, she checks Twitter
Everything,
feeds.
yeah.
I mean, she does. She and Dave, they do the very best they can. But how come there's people out there doing this to our kids? I mean, you post a nude photo when you're 16 or 17 on a ghost app.
This is going to shock you,
It's there
what I'm
forever.
going to say now, but it's called money. They're doing this to make money, girl.
Are we sure that they aren't designing the apps for adults though? And
Both.
they're just too smart though.
Yeah,
They
no,
have
both.
access.
No, both. You know, there's all kinds of these
gosh,
ghost apps.
Maybe.
But in a free enterprise capitalistic system, which I root for, this.
Yeah, but
everything
come on.
goes. Everything
Does
goes.
society, I mean, are we so morally bankrupt?
Yes.
Are we so
Yes.
morally bankrupt
Yes.
that this is,
Yes.
that's just disgusting.
Yes. Well, and let's talk about this. You have young people not going to church. You have young people that don't care about
This
faith.
is not a
But
religious-
it's all part of this, Elle. It's all part of this. It is all part of the breakdown. Just what you said. It's our
Being morally, okay, but wait a minute. You don't have to go to church not to be morally bankrupt.
Time
Come
out
on.
a second. Where do you learn to have a conscience?
From your family, from your parents, from your aunts, from your uncles,
and from church.
It's a part of it. There's a lot of people in the world who don't go to church who are not morally bankrupt. Come on.
You're a very intelligent and successful woman. Let me ask you this question. If church didn't exist, do you think our society would be better off or less better off? You can't pause on live radio. You have to.
Well, because I really don't know how to answer that.
Really?
Yeah.
I think, without question.
I don't see you going to church.
Because I have football. I have obligations, girl. Okay, you don't have to go to. I pray 20 times a day.
I know what you pray for. You pray for Mariota to come back to the Ducks.
Just one game.
Just one game?
Just come back. How about coming back for the Stanford game Saturday night, Marcus,
Yeah.
please? Just please come back. No, but you've heard of the Ten Commandments. Our country was formed on Judeo-Christian ethics. There was a way that you did things. There was a way that you conducted your life, Elle.
Well,
This came from the church. This didn't come from anything else but the church.
Well, or the synagogue, or the temple.
I said Judeo. I said the synagogue, Judeo.
Okay, so that's where it came from. But what's happened to it? I mean, obviously, it's not having an impact anymore.
I'll give you it's only my opinion on the show we called He Said, She Said on KHTS. And you got to give the station out. You got to give a station.
This is trying to have a conversation.
She doesn't want to give any credit to the station. It's a great station, KHTS AM 1220.
But he always breaks in.
This is how you do it in radio. You have to break in. It's called a reset.
Let's finish the conversation, and then you can say it.
Okay, so where was I?
Exactly. See? You see what happens? Totally off now.
Yeah.
You have no idea what you were saying or what you were talking about.
I was talking about the church, okay?
Okay. Bring it back.
I think the church, like schools, the church curriculum is boring. The schools are boring. The pastors are boring. You go to a church.
So they're not delivering information?
They're not delivering it in a way that people want to receive it. Correct. Absolutely correct. It's so boring. Go to a church. You know who's there? People our age. You don't see young people in church.
I don't think that's true. Go down to real life over here.
I've been there.
And
they guess what? They open it up with 30 minutes of great music, and their preachers are interesting, and they're able to integrate life stories in their preaching.
So you think that what happened in Missouri and what's happening all over.
I thought we weren't going to talk about politics.
Well, Robin's not here.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So what's happening all over the country has to do with church.
No, now we're really getting off on a lot of subjects. We were talking about ghost apps, and you brought up.
I'm all over the map.
You really? Justin, that's an honest woman.
I am all over the map today, aren't I?
Yeah, we were talking about
we're talking about ghost apps
and the breakdown of morality.
Right.
In morality.
Okay.
Right. It has nothing to do with Missouri. That's another show.
Well, no. I mean, it talks about being morally bankrupt, and you said it was because people don't go to church anymore.
I think that's part of the. Yes, I'm absolutely.
Do you not think that part of it is that society as a whole is so desensitized to what's going on?
Yeah. Let me say this, that in the traditional church, you would believe there's a heaven or hell. I believe there's a heaven, okay, and I believe there's a hell.
Well, Jews do not believe in hell. That's why I'm Jewish. I'm going to heaven.
I'm not Jewish, okay, so I'm not Jewish. So the point here
So where are you going?
To heaven.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to be in the executive suite.
You're going to have a box?
I'm going to be in the executive suite.
You're going to be in the box, and they're going to serve you food? And they're going to play football 24/7. You happy now?
I'm real happy. Putting the TV in the box,
Maybe we should just move this along then.
Yeah, so you get the money, honey. You want the money. Here's the thing, Justin. I come home from my annual physical, right? I walk in, and she's going through the insurance papers, right? And she looks up, and she says,
he's been telling this story for 14 years now. So I'm snoozing right about now.
How did your physical go? And I said it went great. She goes, oh, crap, shuts the door. All right, back to the show we called He Said, She Said. So we're talking about these ghost apps, and we're talking about there's truly.
Thanks for bringing me back on point.
Truly, I believe a moral breakdown in our society and I said it starts.
I mean, do you not feel?
Can I just finish?
You've been talking a lot.
Do you believe in hell? Do you believe there's a hell?
No.
Okay, so when you don't believe there's consequences
I believe there's consequences, but I don't think it has anything to do with hell.
Hell is getting, as I
hell no.
got When I was younger, I got swatted. That was hell. Hell is having to get a tooth canal. Hell can be anything.
A tooth canal?
A root canal. Yeah, I need a. Hell can be anything you want it to be. But when you're having a lousy day,
Watching 13 days of football was hell.
no football tonight. But when you're having a bad day, don't you think you're in hell? I mean, hell could be anything. Hell is the miserable side of good. Would you not agree?
Yeah, I guess I just haven't used that word a lot. Am I having a bad day? Yeah. Would I call it hell? No.
Well, try it.
I'm in hell.
Try it. Try it. You might like it. I think we have one for the road, correct?
Well, that's after our break.
After our break. So we're going to go take a break.
See, Robin, we have no clue what we're doing.
No,
here.
we do know what we're doing. We're talking about ghost apps. So if you're listening and you got teenagers, you don't even know what's on their phone anymore. We'll be right back on the show we call
He Said, She Said.
Welcome back to really one of the great stations in the country. I know it because I've been on hundreds of stations. This is a great one, KHTS AM 1220. Tell your friends because there's a lot of interesting shows throughout the week. Ours is probably not the most interesting show, but we're having fun. Mrs.
Who's having fun?
I have fun with you. I like being with you. After all these years of marriage, I still like you, and I still think you're as cute as a bug in a rug, really. Isn't she cute, Justin?
Gosh, thanks.
So here's my one for the road today on the show we called He Said, She Said. We have the debate tonight, and when you look at, we have 350 million people in this country. There's probably only going to be, you're not going to have a lot of people on Fox Business watching, so maybe 5 or 6 million, 7 million people tonight. People are not in the know. I think this is the most frustrating part for me, Elle, is that people just don't care. They're so preoccupied with everything.
I don't think so. I think that more people are involved in this election than they've ever been before.
Thank you, Donald Trump.
Well, I mean, and I'm not saying it's not because of Donald Trump, but I'm saying here's the way I see it. Here's what's happening. He got everybody's eyes bugged out and ears open, and everybody's trying to, jump in and listen to everybody. And everybody got real excited for a while. And now it's all the same stuff again. It's them trying to bash Carson. It's, Trump trying to bash Starbucks. I mean, really? Because their cup doesn't have snowflakes? And so what's happened is everybody got really, really excited, and now it's all the same, even though they're not
Okay, you brought up the
politicians.
Starbucks cup. So let me just say something that what's happening to our traditions in our country. So let me just make a generalization here, is that if we are so afraid to honor our traditions, we're so afraid, and this goes back to what I said about the church, if we're so afraid that a non-Christian or a non-religious person or a person from another...
Then they don't have to buy Starbucks.
But why does Starbucks afraid to put a Christmas tree or an ornament?
I don't know. I'm saying it's ridiculous, but what I'm saying is when you've got someone like Donald Trump, who everybody got real excited about because he wasn't a traditional politician, we were all jumping on the Trump bandwagon, and then he comes out and
you were never on the Trump bandwagon.
Well,
girl,
no, I was not.
All right, we got 2 minutes left. Real quick on Target. What's your take on Target? And some other companies now are getting on their bandwagon that we're not going to talk about Christmas or have sales or do anything until after Thanksgiving.
See, that doesn't bother me because I get overwhelmed, and it takes away from
too commercial.
It takes away from the beauty and the tradition of the holiday season when they started in October and then they ply you with all this stuff for like 3 months. So I'm real happy about that.
It's interesting. I might have to support you on that, but I like what you said about tradition. So if big corporations are so afraid to honor our traditions, and I know we can't talk about this with a minute or so to go, but it's a subject that does need to be talked about. Look at the angst on Facebook. I know you're not as active as I am, but can you Facebook the Coach Ron Tunick, please?
Oh,
please?
that was a plug.
Yeah. Another plug, please. How about my show, 1 o'clock on Thursdays? It's called Start a Biz. I'm telling you, Be there. Don't
Well,
be late.
Robin, we miss you. We certainly hope that you'll be back next Tuesday. Keep us on track a little bit.
That sweet little voice of hers.
Thanks so much for listening to another
sweet-
episode of He Said, She Said, starring Coach Ron Tunick.
We'll see you next week. Bye.